So Labour are sucking up to the capitalists as they want to stop the sneering from business. Now, the Financial Times has reported that Labour have new advisors who are 10 financial heavyweights in order to cement confidence in the financial sector. The Labour Party has said it is no longer sneering at business as it announced 10 new advisors for the city, including the chief of the London Stock Exchange and former chair of the Financial Conduct Authority. Labour Shadow Minister Tulip Siddiq said the new Council of Grandees would help the party work with the financial services sector rather than introducing a whole new set of rules, she writes in City AM this morning, i.e. she means regulation. People were worried that under the last leadership, we had been sneering at business. There was a perception that was still lingering, she told the Financial Times in a separate interview. What is this crap? First of all, the idea that we on the left or somehow the last Labour leadership sneered at business is laughable. Literally everything in our political debate is seen through the lens of business. In fact, sneering is toward workers. Think about the response in the media when we talk about strike action. Oh, workers are greedy. They are disrupting services. We are in a wage price spiral because of unions. This is contempt for ordinary people because in no way do we talk like this when it comes to business. Raise taxes on corporations? Oh, we can't because of capital flight. More regulations in the financial sector? Well, that's red tape. Let's talk about redistribution. No, we need to grow the economy from the top. We already have a capital party, yet Labour are doing their best to show the City of London, the financial sector, that they are as pro-business as the Tories. You are called Labour. The whole reason you exist is to support Labour, the working class against business interests. Now, Labour are a social democratic party. I don't expect them to be that radical. I don't expect them to use Marxist talking points about the dialectical nature of workers and business, even though it's true. Labour have been trying to push out this narrative for a few years now that they are both supporters of workers and business owners. And I kind of get why they're doing it, even though they are very, very wrong because Labour and Capital are opposing forces. But at least Labour in previous years, discounting Blair, they supported moves to bring concessions to workers. But today, this is about adopting the same economic orthodoxy as the Tories. Now, I take issue at the dig of Corbyn's leadership somehow sneering towards business. There are two ways in which you can actually support business and the financial sector. The first is what we've done for the last 40 years, which is what Labour are pursuing, which is to cozy up to these people, implement policies that are favourable to them and get them on sides. They will appreciate that because you are actively making their lives better for those in that sector. They like deregulation and keeping taxes low or even cutting taxes. You understand what I'm getting at, right? But there's another way, a fairer way, and in the long run, actually supports business and the city. That was John McDonnell's plan. Now, how is that possible? They wanted to raise taxes, increase regulation, and limit the gap between the lowest paid and the highest. The answer is certainty. I'd argue that the city and the financial sector appreciate certainty more than tax breaks. So the plan was to tell them that, yes, their taxes were going to increase. However, this is for investment. Now, instead of borrowing day to day, which does not bring certainty, I mean, think about the unfunded tax cuts from trusts, for example. Labour wanted to borrow a huge sum of money, but that was going into public services, which even if you're a city banker, you still rely on it, and also a national investment bank. Now, the National Investment Bank was to give out loans to entrepreneurs and small businesses at incredibly low interest rates. This is brilliant for business because it's far more reliable to borrow from the government than from private banks. I mean, just think of 2008. So you have a choice. You can tell the rich men in the City of London that will give you nice little favours, but the economy won't be stable and will pursue the same policies that led to 2008, or the Corbyn McDonnell way. Yes, we are going to increase your taxes, but this is the long-term plan and that will bring stability and investment. There was a reason why the Financial Times actually endorsed Labour at the 2019 election because McDonnell got it. He understood the economy. The people in charge of Labour have no clue how it works, so they just echo what everyone else says. You're constrained in your policies if you don't get the approval of the wealthiest and capitalist class. Now, Sadiq continued, "My commitment to you is to drive Labour's crucial missions, sustained growth, regional development, and a partnership with the private sector to make working people across the UK better off. This review and our relationship with the sector is central to Labour unlocking the power of our financial services for everyone's benefit." This is again looking at the economy through the lens of those at the very top. We need to break out of this ideological trap, but unfortunately, decades of neoliberalism has just really enforced this. If those at the top are hurting, that means everyone else is. And if the top are doing really, really well, we can grow the economy and it will benefit everyone. This is just classic trickle-down economics, which Starmer said was stupid not too long ago. I mean, Starmer, you were right back then. It's a failed economic policy. If you try and grow the economy from the top, there's no guarantee that the rest of us feels the benefit. Instead, it's better to grow the economy from the middle out or even from the bottom up. A national investment bank can grow from the middle out. For aspirational people and for smaller businesses, they can use the state as a way to grow and invest. And from the bottom up, you increase the minimum wage, you have stronger collective bargaining policies, increase benefits, not slash them, and make sure people have stronger purchasing power. More people spending rather than saving is great for the economy. But when the economy is doing poorly, people actually tend to save because of uncertainty. But actually, that's the time when we need to spend more. But people can't, simply just due to the lack of money people have. Creating more economic activity is not only good, but it's fair. It's called the velocity of money, where higher activity signals a stronger and more vibrant economy. This happens when more money is changing hands more often. So, for example, if you're working full-time and most of your wages are being spent on bills and rent, etc., and you don't have much left for non-essentials, that's a really bad sign, especially rent, which is just sucking money out of the economy. At the same time, when you have people who are too rich, and yes, there is such thing as people being too rich, where they couldn't even spend all their money, it's all just stuffed in the Cayman Islands and sat idly with no taxes being paid, that's bad too. Inequality is bad for the economy, yet Starmer and Reeves have essentially ditched redistribution. That was the essence of the last two manifestos, which was to grow from the bottom and middle out through investment and redistribution. Not only was this more stable, but it was way fairer. I mean, who cares about record growth, increase in GDP, when it's just the top that benefits? But this is just economic illiteracy from Labour and the current zeitgeist. Supporting workers directly is somehow bad for business and the economy, but supporting the richest in society is good for it. The Tories have always been terrible with the economy, despite what the media wants you to think. But looking at Labour's plans, it doesn't look like they'll be any better.